Alright, hi everybody, I'm Matt Brown, and with this lesson we're going to look at Metallica's Unforgiven, and we're going to look at it in two parts, since there are different tones and pretty different sections to the solo. So that's the first part, the clean part. Now let's, as you might expect, let's talk about the rhythm part. This is being played over. So this is played over like an A sus2 and A minor type figure. So this is played finger style. Since I'm playing an electric, I'm kind of doing hybrid picking. So we're just playing over A minor harmony, just a vamped, static A minor type thing. So when you see something like this, you have tons of scale options. Really, anything that'll work over an A minor chord can be used here. So you could use like harmonic minor, natural minor, minor pentatonic, minor blues, Phrygian, blah 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 blah. Those are all options that you can try. Dorian as well, and you can mix and match those things to explore different colors. So my advice is usually to leave no stone unturned if you're writing a solo, and try all those options and see what you come up with. Alright, so let's see what Kirk Hammett chose to do. Let's look at the first lick. So it's all natural minor for this phrase. I'll play it again at tempo and then do it slowly. By the way, tempo is about 69 beats per minute. So let's do this slow. I'll do it slow. So it's got some cool like slur stuff. And a lot of these kind of slurs are common things that you'll hear in Spanish guitar playing. So maybe listen to some like flamenco or Spanish guitar playing and see how those kinds of players use slurs, because they do it in a really specific and dramatic fashion, and it's cool to kind of learn some of that and emulate it. So let's look at the next lick. So what's going on here is the high E string is played as a pedal, versus the following notes: B, C, D, E, and then it goes back down. So the rhythm here is triplets, just eighth note triplets, but he's playing way ahead of the beat. So that's rhythmically what's going on there. So the next thing we have is some double stops. It goes like this. So that part slowly, he's doing a fourth shape. Sliding it up 2 frets. And then playing this shape here, which would just be a third there. So that idea is slow. So at the end of this, you could analyze this as like a G major arpeggio. So, using a G major arpeggio over an A minor chord. Just throwing in, basically, if you analyze what happens there, you've got the 7th, the 9th, and the 11th of the chord, so the upper extensions to give color. Alright, now the next phrase. So I did that a little bit slow. At tempo would be this. So this is a minor blues lick. Okay, so slowly, and it comes in with, it's got a little pickup. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we've got some Dorian stuff. Okay, so that real slow. So let's maybe talk about compositionally what's going on here. We've got some pedal notes. So the first note that's used as a pedal is the G. And then what we're doing is climbing up and doing like these fifth shapes in the scale. Now this one, it comes up to C sharp. Now you might be saying, well, we're playing in the key of A minor, what's going on with that C sharp? Or D flat, whatever. Well, here, over this particular measure, the rhythm guitar stops playing, and there's just like this big build-up. So that note that's a little maybe jarring to the ears is a good thing, because it's building all this tension that gets released into the next section. So this starts off Dorian. So that's almost like an A7 arpeggio, where you could think of this as a little chunk here as being like maybe from E Dorian or something like that. So this lick, I'll do it again real slow. Alright, so let's talk about tone for this real briefly. Now with this, he's playing with the neck pickup of a Strat, and I'm working with Paul Reed Smith, so I just went with the neck pickup. He's got a lot of reverb going on, so make sure that ambiance and the reverb is really bringing things in with this section. So that's part of the reason why I taught this with in two parts, is because I don't use a switching system, and I'd have to, make a lot of changes all at once to get to the next section. So, without further ado, let's look at the next section. I'll play it for you dirty here first. Okay, so let's talk about what happens with the rhythm to the solo. I'll play it for you. There's two sections. Let's just talk about the first section first. I'll play it at tempo and then go slow with it. So that's the riff that's going on here. I'll do it at the slower tempo. So maybe the tough thing that you might not be getting, that might need some explanation, are the palm muted notes. So we've got A5, C5, E5, and then we're doing two low notes on the low E. So D5 down to A5. Now this time, the palm muted notes are on the A string. So E palm note, palm muted. let's look at the licks. Kind of cool stuff starts with some big double stops. So big double stops, as we've seen in other solos, are a great way to start off a solo. So this, he's doing 7 and 7 on 3rd and 2nd strings. So it's the type of deal that we looked at in Enter Sandman, where one string's going up a full step and the other's just going up a half. So we get that sound. Now these are going really gradually too. And then we've got this just real mean pentatonic kind of, you know. So we want to play that with some serious attitude. Alright, next idea. So, just A minor pentatonic stuff. We're doing a bend on this A note, so throws in a B note there. Now with this C note, he just really kind of pulls on it gradually, and so again, you want to just play this. This is like real bluesy attitude type licks that you just really want to dig into and really smack the crap up. Okay, so let's move on. Here's the next thing. So now this part, it's got 30-second note rhythms. It's a galloping thing, so 16th notes and 32nd notes. Slow. Again, slow. So, one thing that I'll mention with this is the question of whether to add in hammer-ons to this to make it sound a little bit more smooth. And actually, I've personally, if I'm playing through this amp, which is a dual rectifier, I think it sounds better to add them in. If I'm playing through a different amp, say like something that's maybe not so chunky, where the note is as big, then to me it sounds better to articulate and pick everything. So I don't know, maybe the tone of your amp might even play a factor in this. It just sounded weird and kind of just like real choppy if I picked everything. And also, if you can't play it up to tempo, you're going to have to play it with hammer-ons. So with hammer-ons, slowly, it's like this. So again, slow. So there's the F sharp to E part, and you know that those notes are on different strings, so you're gonna have to pick that unless you move that F sharp note over here, which I'd say sounds a little weird. Okay, so then we've got this big bend up here, the next thing that happens. So this bend releases and comes back down and is pushed back up for a lot of drama. So now, yet again, we've talked about this in, like half of the other solos. He's just, taking things up an octave for drama. So just playing down here in this octave, then coming back up here. So this is all just pentatonic stuff. I'll start from the bend and go slow, big bend. Alright, now let's look at the next lick. This is a sextuplet kind of sequential thing. So real slow. I'll go real slow. So again, we've got this C sharp note, which is kind of a weird choice, but since there's not like a, you know, the minor third in the chord, and it happens real quick, so it works. So the first three notes are this. So D, C sharp, and B. Then we have C sharp, A, C sharp. Then those are the next three notes. And then this is where we just go down the scale sequentially. So the scale is the A Dorian mode. So slowly. And now with this lick, yeah, it's just like we've talked about sequences before, so that's it's not truly a sequence at the beginning, but the rhythm that gets applied to the sequence that happens later happens in the beginning of the lick. All right, moving on. Now we have the next part of the solo to talk about, which is played under the next riff, which goes like this. So it's a pull-off on the D string. And then two palm muted notes. So it's just going down the scale. Then we have this. It's a C5, then some single notes. So that's D, C, A. So G5 power chord. Then the pull-off thing happens again. Then this thing repeats. Now we have the ending. It goes to E5, which is the 5 of the key, to home, which is A. So let's talk about the licks now. At the start of this, he's just playing 3-note A minor arpeggio. In its 16th note rhythm, but since it's just a 3-note thing, groups of 3, so we've got this 3 versus 4 rhythm thing. So counting becomes really important. We've got a bar of 2/4, so with a pickup note, 1 E and 2 E and then the next bar is 4/4, so we've got 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so at tempo. And again, give that minor third to root a lot of juice. All right, so the next lick. So it's just a pentatonic thing up here, real high. Okay, here's the next lick. So this one's kind of a long one. We've got pickup notes. I'll do it slow. 2, 3, 4. So I'll walk through this. This is an A natural minor thing, or you could say just A minor hexatonic, because we just are adding a B note to minor pentatonic. So that's the first part. Then what we have is, so 17, 19, hammer on pull-off. Then we're going to bend up here. And then we've got, is the next part. So we've got 17 and then a pull-off. Okay, now here's the next part. So bend, 20, 17, 19. Okay, the next part is this. So it's a bend, release, and pull off. And then a bend. So this part. So, okay, then the final little section is this. So it's a hammer and pull off from 18 to 20. Then we're coming down to the 17th fret for 2 beats. That's where we have that 2-4 beat, 2-4 measure again. 2, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do this solo all the way through clean with the metronome so you can hear what's going on. I'm going to set the metronome to 135. So what's going on with this is I'm setting the 8th note as the pulse. So the 8th note as the pulse would be, let's see, it would be 148 at tempo. So this is a decent bit below. So the reason why I'm setting the 8th note as the pulse is at these real slow tempos, pretty much if I'm recording anything that's below like 90, I would say, I like to set the click track to the 8th note. Otherwise, you might have a tendency to drag or rush, and you'll just, I think for most people, you'll end up playing more in time with a better feel if you have the 8th note going. Because usually that's what the drummer is going to be doing anyways on the hi-hat. So, yeah, anyway, just a thought there with playing with metronome. Okay, so here's the whole thing slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, so that'll do it for Metallica's Unforgiven. Stick around, I'll play the, you'll see the dirty tempo version again at tempo at the end here of this clip. So stick around for some more lessons. Thanks a lot, I'm Matt Brown.